The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
It's The Local Show with Tom and Steve. Thank goodness you found us, because it's quite lonely without you.
You're stuck talking to me then, Tom.
Right, yeah.
You know,
and
do
goodness
that.
gracious, I don't want to do that. Well, I have high expectations for our next guest. I'm hoping to learn a lot. It's Dr. Marc Pietropaoli. We talk about him a lot. He's the owner of Victory in Motion, the home of knee repair, not knee replacement. How are you, doctor?
Great. Good to see you, Tom. Good to see you, Steve.
Very good to see you. So you're an orthopedic surgeon, but you kind of change directions with your practice. Let's set the stage and give people a background on what made you do this differently.
Set the stage.
Yeah, I was, it goes back to when I was in medical school. I saw a knee replacement for the first time, and it was kind of brutal. It was like saws and hammers and screwdrivers and metal, plastic, and cement, and they're cutting big chunks of cartilage and bone off, and it's goodness. Flying. It's really loud in there.
Wow.
And I asked a question. I just asked, is it possible to grow cartilage back, cure arthritis, or repair a knee and not replace it? And the chief resident, who was in his last year of his residency training program, pointed at me before the Dr. Murray could even say anything, and he says, "No, there's no way to grow back new cartilage. There's no way to repair a knee, and you can only replace it with this metal, plastic, and cement." So later on, Dr. Murray came up to me and said, "Hey, that's a good question. There's really no way to do it right now, but maybe someday you'll join us and you'll figure it out." So it's been like 34 years to try to figure this out. But our bodies have an amazing ability to heal ourselves. And we have cells in our body, we have growth factors in our body, and we have ways of helping your body heal yourself and avoid a knee replacement.
Does this go beyond...
Or joint replacement, any joint replacement.
Right. Does this go beyond stem cells? In other words, you don't just have to use stem cells. You can use other things in the body?
Well, yeah. So the stem cells, we have stem cells are cells that can turn into anything. They are in our bone marrow, most of them. They're in our blood vessels. They're in our fat, believe it or not. So you can harvest good stem cells, usually from the pelvis, not the hip, not the back. And you can concentrate them and you can inject them into areas where you want things to heal. And stem cells are kind of like the boss. They can turn into other things, but what they do is they go in and they tell other cells what to do. So they're like Chip and Joanna, Gaines. They go in and they can do the work themselves, and they do some of it, just like Chip and Joanna.
Right.
But they tell the other cells what to do, just like Chip and Joanna tell their workers what to do, and they basically remodel. So your joint, your knee may look terrible. It may feel bad. It may look bad. It may function bad. Just like an old house might look bad, feel bad, function bad. But then they go in, they remodel it. It's the same house, still has a few quirks to it, but it works better, it functions better, it feels better. The same thing with your knee. The stem cells go in there and they help remodel it, and they help the other cells remodel it, and they need growth factors, and they need good nutrients and good building blocks to do that. So that's where PRP, platelet-rich plasma, which has growth factors like fertilizer, we use that as well. We take your blood and we get the platelets out. It's kind of like adding fertilizer. We concentrate that. But also we teach people what the best diets are, because if you have a lot of inflammation in your body, that degrades healing or degrades your joint and prevents stem cells from working as good as they can work. So getting that inflammation down, getting the right building blocks, that all helps. Laser therapy helps decrease inflammation. So we use a bunch of different tools and come up with a customized program for each person using some of the same principles. So you're right. It's not, quote, just stem cells.
Yeah. So what about the hips? Are the hips joints?
Hips, joints,
because I hear
joint.
people say, "Oh, I was speaking with someone this last week. I need a hip replacement."
Yeah.
And I thought of you.
Yeah.
But is the when someone has hip pain, you had mentioned a few months ago, sometimes the knee might hurt, but it has to do with the hip. Things are like connected, like that song,
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, like them bones. Yeah, it's definitely the hip bone's connected to the knee bone's connected to the ankle bone. So they're all we treat the whole body, and so we can treat any joint. I mean, it's knee repair, not knee replacement, just because that's something that I developed during COVID when I couldn't do knee replacements anymore, and we had to try to figure something else
Right,
out when
right.
we weren't able to do surgeries. And luckily we figured something else out. And I don't do knee replacements anymore. But that goes for any joint. Even, you can have a muscle tear. You're a weightlifter. You can have a tendon injury, tendinitis. These things, these healing factors in our body, these healing cells can help heal anywhere.
And you have a whole process up to your practice where you bring people in, and what does it take, like a day where you can go through the whole body?
Right. People always want to know, how do I qualify for this? How do I
And they may
qualify?
have been told by somebody else, look, you're bone on bone,
All the
or
time.
this is deteriorated, and you might find something different. How often do you find that it's musculoskeletal problems? Like, I know that people will complain of a hip problem, but really it could be just atrophy of the glute muscles and things like that, right?
Yeah. So musculoskeletal, muscle and skeletal bones, and that's what orthopedic surgeons do. So it's almost always musculoskeletal. Pretty much everything I deal with is musculoskeletal. But what you're saying is, could it be the surrounding muscles around the joint? And many, many times that's a huge contributing factor. Or even like Steve was saying, could be the muscles around the hip and the back are affecting the knee, or even down by the ankle, a tight Achilles is going to affect that knee. So we do Clarity Day. Like you said, we get people in. It may take 4 or 5 hours. I'll spend an hour or 2 hours with people. My PA will spend an hour or 2 hours with people. Our total body fitness experts will evaluate all your movements, your strength. Do you have weakness in your glutes that's causing a problem? Do you have a problem in your back that's causing a problem in your knee? And then we'll develop a full plan based on what your goals are. So like you like to weight lift, where Steve likes to fish. Maybe he's got a shoulder problem. Well, we're going to work on his elbow, his shoulder. Maybe his upper thoracic body is a problem too, and that's why his shoulder's hurting him. So we'll figure all this out, and then we'll use all those tools that we just talked about to come up with a plan. And so that's going to take, that may take 4 or 5 hours, and that's not something that you get through normal, insurance-based care. It can take 3 or 4 months to figure all that out usually.
So after the break, let's talk about the Clarity Day. That's in what goes in there. So we're talking with Dr. Marc Pietropaoli from Victory in Motion. Their phone number is 685-7544. I know you can call and ask questions and schedule an appointment, or how do we do this, or how do we pay for this, and all that kind of stuff. But 685-7544 if you've got some issues. But let's talk a bit after the break about the Clarity Day.
Okay.